Hello, hello. How you guys doing? Welcome, welcome. Man, I feel like it's been forever since we've done a live stream here. Been traveling the last few weeks. How are you guys doing? Welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out with me today. Got a different one for you guys today. I know we're all huge DePIN fans amongst our community here, you know, originally GPU miners and then getting into ASICs, and now pretty much anything crypto project related we are hooked on. But yeah, quick mic check in chat. Let me know how things sound. Please let me know. That would be great. Coming to hang out with you guys this afternoon. We are going to bring in here in just a minute Marcin from the Timpi team here, which is going to be great. A new DePIN project that I've only really known about for about a year now, so I'm eager to talk about that with him in just a minute. So keep me updated in chat, guys. Would appreciate it. Let me know how things are going for you guys. I see your friend Andy in here. Man, he is like the biggest node guy out there. I feel like anytime someone says talks about a crypto node project, Andy jumps on it instantly and is like, "Oh yeah, I got 10 of those." Or I'm already into that. Oh yeah, I've been looking at that for 2 years. So he has the ear to the ground quite a bit. Coming to hang out, a few others in chat here. Automatic Beats, Poor Papa Tech, Michael Cartwright. Thank you for coming to hang out with me today, guys. Do appreciate you guys very, very much, which is great. So let's go ahead and bring in Marcin here, and we'll chat with him today. Let's see how we do. Welcome, Marcin. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. I appreciate it.
Hey man, great. Very appreciate you having us here, and grateful to have a platform to share the news about Timpi, our node sale, lots of exciting stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Like, I had originally seen your project last year at Cypherpunk, and it was a shame. I really wish that we would have connected then. I was just way too busy, didn't have an opportunity, and then of course your friend Andy throws out a few videos over the last year on the project and gets me super interested in it. And then really happy. I mean, anything DePIN is like, oh, I'm interested. You know, I first got introduced to DePIN with Helium, jumping into Helium 5G. And now I got a 55-foot lift I'm renting this weekend to install a WeatherXM and a GeoNet. So like there is no barrier for me whatsoever. So now I'm thrilled to be jumping into your project as well. And something along those lines, I've gotten into Flux nodes, and I've gotten into Neoxin nodes, and now I'm getting into the Timpi nodes, which I think is fantastic. So for my community that has no clue what your project is all about, give us a quick rundown as to what it is. Because if I tell people right now that it's a decentralized web index, it's going to go like this, right over their head. So give us the cliff notes.
Okay, just hang on. Having some technical issues here.
Oh, that's fine. Take your time. Take your time.
That's fine. Can you see me? Everything working well?
I can. Everything's good. I can see you and I can hear you.
Okay, excellent. So basically, in a few words, what we are building is a decentralized web index. So it is a database of the internet. So, you have, let's say, the big companies like Google, like Microsoft, Baidu, or Yandex. These are the guys who have this right now, because basically internet is the biggest data set in the world. But to access it, and I don't mean searching, but, querying this for information, using the data for things, you need a web index. So in the structure, and basically the companies that have these structures are now the big ones, the 4 big ones, and we are number 5. So we are now have created the first decentralized web index. So based on a DePIN, on a network of nodes, which is, now busy crawling the internet for data. And, what we want to do is we want to give people access to this data without the complication that having the big tech controlling it provides. Yeah. Because, these companies have their interests, right? Like Microsoft has OpenAI. So if you want to train an LLM model on the data that they have via Bing, not really. We don't have our own big AI models. We have a completely different price point from these guys. So we can basically make this data available to the world at a fraction of a cost. So, if Google has been organizing the world's information, what we want to do is democratize the world's information.
Interesting perspective. I think you've said two words there that really stand out to me that are the most interested, especially coming from crypto. One, decentralization, and my ears go up like, oh, I like it. And two, data. Data is king in 2024. I mean, we see that with AI models that having such a data pool available to them is super critical. So, I guess, what can this data be used for in a real world situation? Because I think a challenge in the crypto world that my audience runs into a ton is like, there's a new crypto project launched, it feels like every day, yet half of them don't even have true world utility. So what type of utility does this type of data provide?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So basically, and I think, that's one of the coolest utilities that you can have, because it's obviously, now that quite a trendy topic is for training LLM models. Yeah.
Okay.
So training such models requires big data structures. And this is then something that such a web index, which is basically structuring the data of the internet, can provide. Yeah. And another thing is running a search engine, because, search engines have become ubiquitous. Yeah, everyone uses one. You use one, I use one, probably multiple ones. You have also, decentralized search engines. But the real trick is that most of these search engines, which are new, decentralized, and so on, are only interfaces. So the real trick is the data structure underneath. And if you have this data structure, which is first of all created by a decentralized index and also run by a company, which allows its users, holders of the token, governance over this data, then you basically get something which comes at a completely different cost and also at a completely different quality. But also, let's say other commercial uses like looking for competitors, market analysis, sentiment analysis, things like that. All these things can be done with our web index.
Okay, so looking at it, we have two sides of this coin. It looks like from a use case perspective, and we're definitely going to dive into nodes here in a minute, guys. So appreciate your patience, but I'm just trying to understand the project more as we get into this. So, do you guys have a browser interface layer yet, or is that something on the horizon?
This is coming. So we've had a beta of our search engine. And basically now we're building this to a quality which will enable a more deeper rollout. Yeah. Okay,
fantastic. I can't wait. I think that's excellent. And then on the flip side, we have all this data, and I guess and update me here. All of that data must align with your business model, where companies are coming to you. Because I guess my thought is like, how is your company making money? And I guess it's based off of that data, correct? Companies are coming to you for some of that raw data.
Yeah, so that's what's happening. We're pretty early stage. Yeah, so let's say because our network is made of different kinds of nodes, and we've rolled out the collector in a sale earlier this year. Now the current node sale, which is now the pre-sale, is running, and the main sale is starting in one day, will be the guardians, so the ones who store all this data. And basically, then we'll be at the stage when the index will be, let's say, really standing on its legs. So at this stage, we are talking to companies about different proofs of concept regarding this data. Whether it's, let's say, the AI angle, let's say it's the more commercial angle, real estate, for example. You should expect some news about that, let's say, in the next 2-3 months. Yeah.
Okay. That's exciting. I did see that you guys have an announcement sometime in the near future about a major customer that'll be announced. So I'm excited to see that for the project, as well as, of course, as a crypto miner, price discovery. I think that's thrilling. So with all of this data, and in a world of AI, we constantly hear about your chat GPTs and the data it has access to, and outdated data and up-to-date data. What does your team do differently from the data side? And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you guys do have your own AI tool. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're working on it. So, I would say that basically the data side is then the main angle. Yeah. And the AI tool is kind of, let's say, a support. So, we don't want to wander into a situation where it's like basically Microsoft and OpenAI. Yeah. Because, if you have, let's say, the data and you have a really big arm which uses this, then it's kind of a conflict of interest. So, we want to be, let's say, the data providers. This is, let's say, our main goal in the world. And the question is, let's say, what we do differently, right?
Yep.
Okay, so basically, what I would say that there are two aspects. We have a network which is also self-regulating. So, we have all these NFTs running nodes, but the network will be able to regulate itself, issue more, issue less. But basically, to keep a standard high quality level, because, if we're talking, let's say, training LLMs, okay, you can provide the data set now, a bit later, it's not a big problem. But if we're talking search engines, which is like real time, you click on something, you don't want to wait for 10 minutes just because it's decentralized. That doesn't work this way. Then it has to be real time. So, we're also placing an emphasis that the network has to have a very high quality, because we have different models, right? You have people who are saying just, hey, you can run your node on your PC. That's not a problem. Or you have people like us who are saying, well, you have to have a certain hardware setup and you have to have something dedicated. But then everything fine? Because I thought, some, let's say, transmission issues on my end.
I mean, your camera is a little laggy, but your voice is perfect, and that's what's important to me. Is you sound great, you sound fine, so I don't mind at all.
Okay, just give me 2 seconds. Let's try to solve this laggy problem.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time. Take your time. While you do that, I did see Michael Cartwright in the chat had said, so Timpi wants to run a disk defragmenter on the internet as a whole and then organize it for faster recall and access. 100%. That's pretty much in layman's terms what it sounds like. Good. So once you take care of that, and if you do, great. If you don't, we'll keep hiking forward. It might just be turn off your camera, turn it back on. I don't know if that's the simple technical avenue to go.
Okay, just a few seconds.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. You're good. Yep. You take your time. It's not a problem. We're good. I am taking some of the questions here. 𝐍𝐵𝐿, I'm going to touch on that here shortly because I am interested as well. So we'll definitely talk about that question there that you're referring to, which is good regarding the nodes. We're going to get to that in just a minute. Looks good right now,
okay,
Marcin.
I think we're good to go. Yeah, we're good to go. So the
awesome.
question was...
You had to turn off your Napster, right?
You had
to turn Napster off, right? You're good to go now? All right, great. Thanks.
Oh, no, all the porn downloads, now they're off.
I didn't say that. You did. I was thinking more music, but that's okay. But no, that's good. That's good. So let's pivot a little bit here, and talk about a little bit. You guys have nodes. Nodes are a very well-known term amongst crypto miners, amongst DePIN. But what utility do the nodes serve on the Timpi project?
Well, it's simple. Without our nodes, we don't exist. So it's not a vanity thing. It's like a real utility thing. And it's also good for the node operators because basically they have to eat. If they don't eat, they leave us, then we're dead. So in a way, it's a very good synergy here between both sides. And we have 4 kinds of nodes. So we have collectors scraping the internet for data. They are our crawlers in a way. Then we have the guardians, which are on sale right now, which store this information, 1 terabyte. And then we have the geocore nodes, which basically coordinate the work of these nodes, meaning if you are doing something in real time, like a search engine or anything else where you need the data now, all right, that's our website.
There it is. Look at that. Fancy. I'll swear, you guys must have gamers amongst your development team because all of the gamer-esque graphics I think are awesome on the website there. But I'm sorry, I did interrupt you. So you guys have 4 different types of nodes that help make up the entire decentralization of your project, is what you were saying.
No, we actually kidnapped the guy who did e-commerce for Walmart. That's why it looks the way it looks. So,
okay.
So basically, 4 kinds of nodes. And the nodes that we are, let's say, on sale now are the guardians, so the ones who store the data. And then you have the geocore, which basically optimizes the data uses for use cases where things have to happen like right now, quickly, and time is of the essence. And then you have the synaptron later, which is the IT layer. Yeah, that's the art. Everything rendered. So yeah, so that's how the network runs. Again, the guardians and the collectors, these are the two main nodes. The other two, they are, let's say, in a way useful. They will optimize the performance, but without these two guardians and collectors, we're dead. This is the essence of the whole story. Yeah.
So these are more your core nodes, and based off of, I did a little bit of research before our conversation here. I felt like I had to. Your collectors are pretty much your crawlers.
Oh, wow, really?
I'm impressed. I know, I got to, right? So yeah, the collectors very much, I know in chat, Greg Smith was asking, these are your collector nodes are crawling the internet, going ahead and, cataloging everything that we're talking about. But these also need a place to store them. And that's where all of that data comes in on the Guardian node. And that's what will actually be a great transition into talking about these a little bit on a big question among my community is very much system resources. What are the requirements? Because we've dealt with node projects that have these absurdly high enterprise level requirements. And talk to me a little bit about the requirements for these, because from what I'm seeing here, let's start at the collector node level. These don't seem too insane, which I'm thrilled about.
No, really. I mean, on the system side, you could basically almost run it from a PC, which is maybe not 20 years old. Yeah. Or, doesn't have to be Windows, of course. Linux and things like that work perfectly well. But basically, any old computer is fine. Yeah. More or less, but it's about the internet connection. So you need a good, stable internet connection to crawl the internet. As for the guardians, you need if I remember correctly, 1 terabyte of storage, and also, let's say, stable internet connection. But from the system side, it's like that the hardware is, as you said, that the requirements are not too high. So it's not like now you have to sell your house to buy a rig to run it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, taking a look here for those guys in chat, let me go ahead. I'll drop you guys a link in chat if you guys want to read more about this and follow along to learn more about these. And then I actually am going to link, while we're on this, you guys can actually sign up to get a discount code for these if you're interested. It's just a Google form, and they will take your email and email you out later today with your discount code if you're interested. I'll put that in chat to help things along there. But yeah, taking a look at requirements, I think that's the nice thing is like I could run this at home on a PC and just take a separate PC. It's only using 8 cores, 12 gigabytes of memory is not much, and it's 1 terabyte of space, which a solid state is not too bad. We're not breaking the bank here. And what I really like and what I've seen is based off of what I've seen, you can actually use different operating systems to run this, correct? It's not like locked in on Linux, which I think Linux, unfortunately, adds a higher layer of skill set, I would say, a barrier to entry. And it looks like that you can run these on Windows 10 or higher, or Linux 64-bit. Is that correct?
Yeah, we thought about using Windows 95, but it was kind of hard to find the devs for that, so we're
Windows ME. Come on now, Windows ME all the way.
3.1. Was this small guy on the side, giving all the tips.
That's right. So it looks like we have, and for my audience, we instantly look at projects as one, not only as a hobby and our investment interest getting into them, but also we look at the reward structure. So have you guys announced the reward structure yet? Really? That's right. We don't do this for charity. We don't do this for charity. Give us the rundown on how the reward structure works for this project.
We don't have any rewards. Sorry, bye.
Oh, bye.
No, actually, so it's like I mentioned. I mean, we have to keep the node operators happy, because if they are not happy, they stop running nodes, then, we're dead, So how it basically works in terms of these nodes, we have reward pools, and we have guaranteed them for the next 3 years, but, it's guaranteed for the next 3 years, but it's not like, it's dropping off later, because again, these guys have to eat. We don't have to eat. Our families don't have to eat. The node operators have to eat. Otherwise, the project is done for. And what we're doing is basically we have reward pools. for every month, and you have to satisfy uptime requirements, like the node has to be really running, and not just lying around in your cellar gathering dust. But if it's running, then we basically have a pool which is, let's say, calculated per number of nodes out there, all nodes, and the active nodes, the ones which are running, divide this pool up among themselves. So if we assume that some nodes are not running because hurricane, whatever, then basically the others get more, And in terms of APY, so the Guardians which are on sale now are Founders Edition Guardians, special boost for 12 months in terms of rewards. And what this means is that, we've calculated the rewards for these 3 years in terms of fixed token pools in NTMDI, our token. And at current prices, the API for the first year, I think we're now at, well, it would be above 60%. Yeah.
Okay. Got you. Yeah, I was looking at, I think there's definitely some value in getting into like a project like this with the node structure early, because the earlier you get in, that means there's less nodes, which means that at the end of the day, there's more rewards available to you. As time goes on, there's more rewards that come online. So therefore, the rewards are spread out more thin. So that is really cool. I know in chat they were talking about internet speeds. It looks like for the Guardian, it's about 30 megabits up and down, which of course having an unlimited data plan, which makes sense. It looks like you guys are down to only 406 in stock, which is good to know. It sounds like you guys got rid of quite a few actually within the last 24 hours. And then let's look over here on the collector node side of things, as people were interested in. So this just says good internet speed. So it's not super picky then. It doesn't actually need a set requirement, because I guess with the collector node, it's not storing data. So it doesn't need that download upload. It's really just crawling the internet.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's not really a high bandwidth thing. So it crawls a lot of websites, but, it needs to be stable, right? You probably will not run it on your mobile phone, I think, or a Commodore 64 or something. But then if we're talking, let's say, normal now hardware, it should work perfectly fine. So then let's say you go ahead and buy one of these, right? How does the NFT come into play, which is a little bit different than some of our other traditional node projects? So you buy one, what happens next? Well, then you have to go at midnight to the crossroads near your house, turn around 3 times, spit over your left shoulder, and then the NFT will appear.
I like it.
Yeah, I know. Hobbits, right? No, basically, what happens is, now at the sale, we collect the Notaro addresses. And but you don't have to have one. So if you don't have one, we'll send you an email. You have to submit it. And then when we have all the addresses, we will distribute the NFTs on the Notaro chain, which is like the native chain for our Timpi token. It's on Cosmos, so nothing super esoteric. Works with Kepler, perfectly fine. And basically later we will have an Apex event in 2-3 weeks, when the goal is for all the nodes to come online. And within this event, what will happen before is we will send out also detailed instructions. So what do you need to set up the node, how it will work, and so on. For the collectors which are on sale, these instructions are already live, because we will already have collectors running for a few months. For the Guardians, these instructions will be distributed. And, it will be easy. So we actually have a dashboard going live, which is kind of built, let's say, for a search engine, which we'll have, but it will be also used for managing the Guardian node. So in a way, there will be a kind of an interface. You don't have to write assembler code to run a node. Just to put it really simple.
I love the fact of, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge Linux guy. That's not really my world. So the fact of having an ability to set up a PC that I want to at home, that I want to dedicate as my node, I could throw it in my crypto mining shed and then load up Windows and hit play to launch it, and then just set it and forget it, I think is fantastic, which I think is really, really good. Kudos to your team for supporting Windows with that.
Yeah, my coding skills finished at Turbo Pascal in primary school and drawing circles, so I get where you're coming from.
Yes, yes, 100%. So on that, talking about nodes in that regard, we kind of talked about the different ones that you
Mhm.
guys have, which is great. And so right now, so my community understands the timetable. The next, I guess tomorrow is really when these will become available. So today you can get your discount codes, and then it looks like what I saw on the site is that you could purchase it outright on the site tomorrow. Is that correct?
Actually, sorry for some misinformation. Our IT monkeys have been a bit late with this one. Actually, the pre-sale is running right now. Yeah, so it's been
Okay,
running
got you.
since yesterday. It's still there for like 24 hours. So whoever wants a code for the pre-sale, these are like one-time codes. Be quick.
Yep.
Fill out the form in the description, I guess, of the
Yep.
video, and then basically, during the next 26 hours, we'll be gradually reaching out to these people, sending them emails with the codes, which they need to use, first of all, to access the pre-sale, and second of all, to get a nice discount, courtesy of the Hobbit Miner,
Hey, I'm trying to help people out. Absolutely, for sure. Okay, that's great.
Appreciate it. Oh, by the way, a shout out to your friend Andy, who I think, no disrespect, has been our biggest supporter here. So
it's awesome. Andy's a great guy. I got to hang out with him for several days actually down at Mining Disrupt in Miami not too long ago. Always a blast hanging out with him for sure. So so I think that's great. So people understand, as you said, pretty much the sale is happening right now, the pre-sale. You can get that discount code in the link in the chat right now. It's also, if you're watching this afterwards, in the video description. The VOD will be available if you guys are catching this late. Once you buy it, you're going to get an email, the NFT setup, as you had talked about, that'll get all set up, which I think is great. And then instructions will come as to how to set this up. I think people instantly are like, oh no, I need to get set up right now. But I think, as you said, the collector nodes you can do now, but the Guardian nodes will come in the next few days or weeks. What was that timetable again?
Well, the NFTs will be sent out basically days after the sale, when we have collected the addresses. And in terms of operation, we'll have this, let's say, event, which will be kind of a stress test of the network, and it will take place like 2-3 weeks after the sale. So, there's no rush. Instructions will be distributed, and everyone who buys nodes, welcome to our Discord. There's lots of people there, node operators, our mods, our team. So there's resources, people are ready to help you out. And there's a knowledge base on our website as well, which you can use, to read up on the requirements and such.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, here is, if you guys are interested, let's see here. We will share this tab here and let's pop that up here. We'll zoom in. This is just the form to fill out. I put it in chat. If you guys are interested, to go ahead and sign up. It's just your email address to get the email with the discount code, as well as, if you're interested, you don't have to. You can fill out your Discord username. So if you do need help in Discord, they can connect the two together to identify, who's who and everything like that with that, which will be helpful. So that is in chat. That is down below if you guys are curious and you want to get in on the discount code nice and early, which is great. So right now, what do you guys...
one more thing here, because so we have two types of nodes, the guardians and the collectors, and the pre-sale is under allocated in terms of guardians, over allocated in terms of collectors. But first come first serve sale, then it's no holds barred. So if you really want a guardian node, then the pre-sale is the place to go, because if you get this code, you're basically guaranteed to get one. And then the first come first serve sale, last one sold out in 36 hours. So let's see how this one goes.
Wow, that is very, very quick for sure. No, I think that's great. So when you have looked at this, from a hardware perspective, I guess one of the things that come up a lot for people as home miners is what type of uptime do we need to see out of what's the layer of acceptability on up and down time with these nodes? Is this something that you don't reap the rewards if you have any downtime, or what's the layer of acceptability? Do you know that?
Well, basically, we're talking here about things like 90-something%. Yeah. So, let's say the requirements are not super high, but we really want the network to be reliable. Yeah. So it's not 100%. Yeah. But basically, it's 90-something. So, it's these nodes should run. Yeah. So, it's let's say in this compromise between very high requirements and high uptime went more in the direction of relatively high uptime. Yeah, it's not like, if you have a break of, let's say, a few minutes, you will be slashed out of the rewards, but we want these things to run.
Yeah. What is the and we might be getting down the road here, but I thought I would at least ask, because I know my community will be curious on it, is what is the reward schedule? Do you know what that will look like? Is that once a month? Is that once a day, once a week? What does that look like?
Yeah, we distribute the rewards with carrier pigeons, so it depends, on the seasons.
Perfect.
Yeah?
Can't wait. Yeah.
Yes. And you can shoot down the pigeon, as an added bonus. Yeah.
You guys seem to be gamifying everything. I like it. I like the avenue we're going here.
Yes, exactly. So the rewards will be distributed monthly. Yeah. So at the beginning, we have, let's say, these 2-3 weeks setup time. Yeah. Then the whole fun starts in terms of running. We have this Apex event, and then we start distributing the rewards. So the pools will be, let's say, calculated monthly. The month has to finish. We have to calculate who was active, who was not active, who deserved the rewards, and who this month, had some issues. And then the stuff gets distributed. It's also the way we're doing it now with our, let's say, nodes, with the validators, and so on. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. So I think for people right now, I was taking a look on your site here for the wallet that you guys have set up here. So tell me a little bit more about the wallet for your project.
Oh, basically, it's easy. The native chain is on Cosmos. Yeah. So basically, you can use just Cosmos compatible wallets. So these ugly buttons are there for Kepler. If you just have Kepler, and you press the ugly buttons, you'll end up with having the Node chain added, and then ready to use. And if you go on Cosmos, we are now on Oridex. If you have the soul of the trader as well, not only the miner, or you want to turn those node rewards into something more shiny, then Oridex is the place to go. Or you can bridge to ETH, and there you have Bitmart. You are on Uniswap, things like that. The bridge right now is not working, but this will be solved in the next few days. So before.
I did see on here you guys have a few different platforms available to you right now for people, because I think that's something that's important for home miners that we look at, is what is our on and off ramp. What is available to us on these projects, because there's several times these projects launch and they want community support, but they haven't spent the time to look at on and off ramps. And that's super important, because at the end of the day, not everybody is a your friend Andy that's holding these for eternity. We actually want to liquidate at some point and take profits. So that is great to see that you guys have several partners for that, because that's what we go to, which I think is a great avenue to go there, which I can definitely appreciate. So tell me a little bit about these Apex events, because the first time I saw it on your website, I was like, oh, Apex, so they must play video games, the Apex game. But no, these are actually events that you guys hold.
Yeah, first time I saw that, I was like, fuck, who came up with that name? That's like fucking stupid. But okay. Now I'm part of the team, so I find, it's the best thing since sliced bread. So basically, they are called Apex events because they are stress tests. So that's when, we want to run all the nodes, and we want to have all the nodes running, and your rewards later depend on that. So you'd better have that node running. But it's not like one day after the sale. So it's a few weeks after the sale, and there's also, let's say, a period of troubleshooting before, helping people set things up, giving out manuals and so on. And then we just want to stress test everything. So just think, hey, let's get all the nodes online and let's see what fucks up. Because always there's something wrong. Until you get things running, you only see what's up. And that's what the events are for. And, we'll have now an Apex event, right, a few weeks after the sale. And what we'll also have, we'll have loot boxes. So people who participate, and we hope everyone will participate, will also be able to win tokens, nodes, domains, things like that.
I like the loot boxes. See, I told you guys gamify everything. This is all. I love the theme of gamifying this. I think that is a great avenue to go. It's very cool to hear about that with stress testing. With that, to hear of this going on. So something we didn't talk about before, but I assume you guys already had, and as I said, I'm late to this project, only heard of you guys about a year ago, only more recently gotten into it more and more. Is this your second round of nodes on the project, third round? Like when did this first kick off with nodes?
Well, actually, this is the second round. So the first round was in Q1. Yeah. So first round was collectors. We're selling collectors. We're launching the token, and now is the second round. Yeah. So we have basically the guardians. More rounds will follow, but what you see is that basically, now the rewards I think are pretty good. Yeah. So over 60% APY at current token prices. Not financial advice, of course, and we're not talking, not doing any projections, just telling you, what, let's say the current number. But in the first round the rewards were even higher. But that's about being there early. Who took a risk? Who came and and got one? These people eat more. And the people
they eat more. I like it.
Yeah.
I like
and the people who get in now also eat more than the people in the subsequent rounds. Yeah.
Yep. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. I do like it. One thing I know people were concerned about too is like I saw in chat someone commenting on like, hey, could I put this on a laptop, but it doesn't have all the uptime. I think you had talked about a gray area of about 90% uptime in there, which I think is important. I will probably go ahead.
No, it's
what I was going to say was that I will probably go this direction. So I don't know if you have ever used these guys before, but I know your friend Andy has recommended these to me, Node Orbit. They're actually a node hosting platform, and I actually saw that they're actually going to be supporting your collector and your guardian nodes. So that's probably the route that I will go. I mean, you can see they have tons of them, but I am very much a set it and forget it type of guy when it comes to nodes. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to see it. I just want the rewards, and I'm off. So yeah, I mean, this is I'm very thrilled to see this. This is one of the platforms that I use. So I am happy that your name is not brand new. It seems like it's been out here for quite some time, which I think is great.
Yeah, actually, in terms of team, one of our co-founders created the first search engine for the dark web. So
wow, that's a good and a bad thing, right?
Yeah. If you want, he's the Ross Ulbricht of Germany. Yeah.
That is crazy, crazy.
But basically, so the guys have really lots of experience, and actually, the project came about from that. Like when he created this dark web search engine, then he thought, that's cool. It's a decentralized search engine, but why don't we do this also for the regular web? And then, there was a search engine idea. And then basically when you have a search engine, you need the index, the data, and then it turned out, search engines are cool, but data is even cooler.
I agree. So somebody asked in chat, we'll kind of jump into the more Q&A section of this. So Pirate here was talking a little bit about tokenomics, and we were looking at that. So let me go ahead and bring that up. I have that available here for us so that we don't try to remember everything. So the nodes, will they fall under the infrastructure rewards for about 20%? Is that where that comes out of?
Yeah, exactly. And, now we're, let's say, in the process of adjusting that. But, the adjustment will be to basically calculate exactly how big the infrastructure rewards need to be. And if anything, they'll be larger than smaller. So, it will not be, let's say, about now saying, okay, the sale is over, let's reduce the rewards by 10x. Yeah, it will be in the other direction. So basically just making sure, we have enough there, because as we said, the node operators are our first priority. Yeah. Without them, we're dead. Yeah. So they have to be happy.
Takes away your decentralization entirely.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we all have nice PCs, but that's like, 10 PCs. That's not enough for a web index. Huh?
Dang. No, that totally makes sense, which I think is great. But good question there from chat. So guys, why don't we jump more into the kind of Q&A section of this with Marcin. So feel free to fire your questions away. If you guys have any in chat related to the project, related to the nodes. I know the nodes are definitely very interesting for the community. A lot more interest in the node side of things. I'll put a link in chat for the pre-sale as well if you're interested, and then we will absolutely have this video up. And we'll link to this on Twitter and YouTube after this, because I think there'll be a lot of interest here. I'm here for the nodes. Give me nodes. What's up, Alexander? How are you, man? Put a link in chat. What that link does is that will take you to a Google form where you just fill it out with your email address, and then these guys will send you a discount code very, very shortly, which I think is great.
Exactly. And then, for the regular sale, basically, you also have a code, I heard, right? An affiliate link. And then for the regular sale, this link works.
Yes. Right now, use the pre-sale one. However, if you're coming to this in the future, we do have a separate link as well. I'll put in chat, but both of those will be in the video description for folks back home on this, which I think will be great. So this is exciting for you guys. So I guess, when did the pre-sale originally kick off?
It kicked off yesterday at 7 p.m. UTC. So I would say around 22 hours ago.
Okay. Got it. Not too bad. Question in chat here, probably coming to the stream late, which is fine. We absolutely totally understand. Which was, what is the bandwidth requirements for the nodes? So what I'll do here, guys, is I'll bring this up on screen again. They actually make this very simple and easy to follow along, which is good. I did link in chat, but what we have here is we have the two different nodes. If you guys are coming late, your collector node is your crawler. It's scouring the web. And that one is the lightweight one, I would call it. I think this one is the most beginner home miner friendly. Does not have a set bandwidth requirement. Very minimal requirements here for this. I linked this in chat. We're not building anything out crazy. I'm gonna, probably to test the waters, grab just a little PC to set this one up, and it'll be simple and easy to run at home. The Guardian node, though, however, is the one that has the bandwidth requirements of 30 down, 30 up, with the larger hard drive of 1 terabyte requirement. And that's really just because the Guardian nodes are storing all of this decentralized data.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have the internet, on your machine, it just required some oomph, yeah?
Yeah, yep, 100%. What other questions do you guys have in chat? So I thought about this while we're waiting. So the pre-sale is going to occur, and then that's happening now, and then the pre-sale ends. Regular, if there's any left, these will go on for sale, and then that'll be continually available until they are all purchased up. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's, we have the time plan for 1 week, but it's not gonna last 1 week. So collectors are already halfway out. There was 150, and now I think we're near 70 or something like that. So it's these things are flying. Yeah.
So somebody in chat here, Clickbait Me More, had asked about when the AI node. So that is this one here, correct?
Yeah, that's the Snaptron. So, I would say 2025. Yeah.
Okay.
So, it depends a little bit also on our priorities in terms of, let's say, will we work further on, let's say, the quality of the data in the index, or will we work more on adding the different kinds of nodes? To be completely honest, yeah, but it's 2025. I won't give you a date now, yeah.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I do see those requirements definitely leaning more towards AI. So you got your 8-core CPU, your 12 gigabytes of memory, but it has a dedicated GPU with a minimum 1080 Ti, which is great. I got plenty of GPUs hanging around that aren't being put to work right now. So this is great. 250 gig solid state, static IP address, nothing crazy. So this is fantastic. And then what did you say the third one was in the group here? What purpose did this serve? Okay, and what does that do?
This one basically is kind of, the node manager in a way, I would say. So basically, when you have stuff, because when you have, let's say, queries or things like that, which are not time sensitive, then it doesn't matter. They just get realized. Yeah. But when you have stuff which is time sensitive, for example, related to providing technology for a search engine, yeah. Because we have companies like DuckDuckGo now, which use a web index of Google or Bing, yeah, and we can come to them and tell them, hey, use ours; it will cost you 10 times less, yeah. But then in such utilities, speed is of the essence, yeah. When you search for something, you want it quick. You don't care if it's decentralized or not. You just want it quick, yeah, and good quality. Yeah. And this is what this
You're
node
right.
does. It basically optimizes stuff which goes in terms of geography. So we have all these collectors, we have all these guardians. Where do I route this request? Where is, let's say, where are the resources being used? How do I balance the resources? Things like that. So the 𝐏𝐤𝐶 kind of, let's say, manages the network, if you will. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, what this can lead to is also issuing more NFTs. So if the network sees it is being overexerted, there's, too much usage, the quality is going down, then basically more NFTs will be issued and added to the network.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, so in chat here, Dan had asked, so it's my understanding this is a software applet you run on a PC to perform the node task. That sounds pretty accurate there. We had talked about earlier that it can run on Linux or on Windows, which I'm thrilled about as well. And it seems like each node has its job within the node ecosystem, which is, I think, a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, they have to run. So, it's not optional for us. It's not a vanity thing. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's definitely good to understand for sure. Awesome. What other questions do you guys have hanging out here right now?
No one's asking about my phone number. Fuck.
No, not yet. Not yet. They will be when they have problems, or they need help. They'll be definitely asking about that. For sure. Which is, I think, great.
Now, then the best talked about earlier. Discord. Yeah. So, our Discord is the source of everything. Either you have manuals or you go open tickets, things like that. You get help. Yeah.
No, definitely, for sure. So I think some people were asking earlier too. So you had talked about this runs on Cosmos, which it runs off of that side of things, especially for the NFT side, which you get with the node purchase. And it's not just like, hey, I buy a node and now I have or I buy a node and now I get an NFT. And it's not necessarily proof of like participation, which we've seen some of these projects out there where you're just buying an NFT and it's really just a money grab. No, you actually have to set up the node. Like after you make the purchase, that's just the first step. You actually have to set up the node to actually get the rewards. The NFT is more just a barrier to entry, and also kind of your unique ticket to actually of ownership for the node.
Yeah,
which is good. Which I think is fantastic.
And it has also, of course, resale value.
Yeah.
It has resale value. So basically, your return doesn't have to be, I get this and I have to run this for the next 20 years. Yeah.
Yep.
I get this, I run this, and if it's not much fun to run, then basically I can go and just sell it to someone who will run this. Yeah. And we'll have a marketplace functionality coming later this year. Yeah. So either on our own chain or enabling usage of some other marketplace on Cosmos, but these NFTs will be tradable. Yeah. So basically, if you buy it, you're not married to this project for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I mean, I think having that opportunity is great. I think, projects come and go, or your interest in a project comes and goes. So I think having the opportunity to be like, all right, I ran the node for a year, or I don't have the capacity to run a node anymore, and having the ability to put that NFT on the marketplace, I think is great. I think especially too, if you are in a situation where you could put that NFT for sale, and let's say that the project is booming and it's doing significantly better. Even the NFT purchase, you could buy it, hold on to it, and then resell it, and there's some value along with that too. So it's very similar to what your friend Andy and I always talk about, where it's like buying even an ASIC miner and then mining with it. Well, great, you can mine with it, but then later you could sell it. And so the value of that, that resale value can go up, it can go down, but at least you have the value to resell it and then pass that on to someone else that wants to run it, which I think is great.
Absolutely. It's not a sunk cost. Yeah. It's not like a piece of, like it doesn't get old. Yeah. It will always be there.
No, I think that's great. So I guess for your team side of it, we had talked about where is your team located out of? Is there a central location, or are you guys all over the place?
The shorter question will be, where are we not located? Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Because it's everywhere. It's it's time zone hell. We've got New Zealand, we've got Europe, we had Asia, we had North America. Now we don't have North America. Yeah, we have. Okay, we partly have. Yeah. So it's basically almost all continents. Yeah.
Wow.
And it
Okay.
leads to funny
All over the
situations
world.
because the founders are in New Zealand, so also hobbits. Yeah. And when we have guys in the States, it's like 23 hours difference, but still 21 hours difference because you've got the the day border there in the middle. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That's great. No, I mean, it's good to see, that some of these projects are based. I think more and more with a lot of these crypto-based projects, we're finding that they are all over the place, which I think, nowadays those barriers are kind of broken down for traditional single location based, and having the ability to be worldwide, I think is great and good for your team and the project. So you guys were at Cypherpunk last year. Have you guys attended any other events since then?
Yeah, we were, in Berlin at the Berlin Blockchain Week.
Okay.
Where else? Some more events in Europe, like the Banana Conf in Tallinn, then ETH Bucharest. And we're now going to one more event in the States, but, I don't remember actually exactly which one, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
But, we're moving around, and it's mostly in Europe and the States in terms of events. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah, I'll be eager. I'd like to get some more of these like CES events and things like that that are more technology based and not just crypto based, because I think for you guys too, like, I guess you're kind of floating between both worlds, right? You're floating between the technology industry and also the crypto industry. And I think actually having, as you had said before, real world utility with a lot of these, databases, I think is fantastic. Web browsers and search engines and everything like that, I think is really, really good.
No, that's a great way of putting it. Yeah, because it's like you said, the utility of, the backbone is crypto, right? Decentralized, deepen, but the utilities are very much Web 2, Web 3, just World Wide Web. Yeah.
Yep. No, that's true. Absolutely. No, I think that's really, really smart. It's hard because I find that more and more projects that stay kind of isolated to crypto and they're not expanding into the technology space end up failing because of, they're not looking at, they're trying to look at just crypto or just that market. But when in reality, crypto is the technology industry. So I think breaking out into more use case, I think is great. We were talking a little bit earlier about, the fact of, use case and just with what other competitors are out there. You mentioned a few of them. I think Bing is what you mentioned earlier, but what other like competitors are in your space? Still with me?
Basically,
there we go.
So on one hand you have the big tech with their indexes, so you have Bing. Yeah. Sorry, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Something
no
with my bandwidth. Can't run a node.
That's right. Can't run a node there. Yep, 100%.
So, can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you. Yep, you're good. I think you're just super delayed, but that's okay. We're about wrapping things up here in the next 5 or so minutes, so not a problem at all. So who are your major competitors out there right now within the space?
So basically, it's you have Bing, you have Google, you have Baidu, you have Yandex as the big companies which have web indexes. Yeah. So these are, let's say, on one hand the competitors, and then you've got all the decentralized companies in Web3 which also, let's say, provide data. Yeah. So you have things like Grass and so on. So people who are, going even more decentralized and saying, you're not setting up a node like we are, with an NFT, but you just run stuff on your PC in your browser. Yeah. And, it's kind of, let's say, a choice that you make because, some people might say, okay, that's even more decentralized. Other might say, if you give someone agreement to see what you're using with your browser, it's maybe not so great an idea. Yeah. So it's maybe, better to run dedicated stuff. So I would say, so on one hand, it's the big stuff, the big tech, which obviously moves slower, but, has a lot of money and friends. And on the other hand, the other decentralized data companies. But, the beauty of this is data is a huge market. Yeah. So there's space for
Correct.
everyone. Yeah, there are so many niches, there are so many things, and I think people are just starting to discover the potential of the internet, which is the biggest data set in the world. Not in terms, of just browsing and then saying, oh, I can Google something, but like really using the data for productive utilities. Yeah.
No, I think that's a really good
Business
a really good
and
comment there,
personal
because I think
reasons.
that's a challenge. Yeah, I think that's a challenge we run into, is like, especially within the crypto space, is true utility, and actually having a real world purpose. We have too many projects that launch within the crypto space that all of a sudden, hey, it launches and it's not actually doing anything. Like, it's not solving anything. It's not addressing any real world problems. It's just, hey, look at this project. It's cool. It talks about AI. It talks about technology. It talks about innovation. But at the end of the day, they haven't done anything yet. And I think a lot of these projects are out there. So it's great to see a project like yours that actually has real world use case today, not tomorrow, not in a year from now, not on our roadmap someday, that actually has true real world value today. And I think that helps out a lot when you're looking at getting into nodes like you guys have now that we've been talking about for the last hour, because I think that's where there's a lot of value to it, is the fact of, okay, these nodes allow us to tap into that, which I think is great.
Yeah. No, I mean, I come from the Web 2 world, from the Web 2 startup world. And, my main question is always, are we solving a real problem? Yeah. Is there, let's say, burning problem in the world which we are solving? And I think you're right that in Web 3, many people are very creative, but they are building solutions which are looking for a problem. And we don't want to be like that. Yeah. We want to take a problem, which is basically the biggest data set in the world being, gatekept by big tech. Yeah. And we want to solve that. Yeah. And we want to be measured by how we solve that. So for us, things like tokens or price or whatever, this is all secondary, because if you build a business which solves a real problem, everything will come. Everyone will be happy. All the stakeholders around the project, token holders, node operators, and so on. So, we're trying to be as disciplined as possible, focusing on the problem we're solving and what we can do to solve it. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So guys, here's what we're going to do. In chat, we're going to put a link to the nodes if you guys want to learn more, as well as if you just want to get a discount code. You're just here for a discount code on buying one of their new nodes. You have the two there, the collector node and the guardian node, that if you buy them today, there's a discount code you can get via email. I'll put a link to the form in chat that what you guys can fill out, and then they will email you your discount code. It's a one-time code specifically for you, and then you can either look at purchasing the collector or the guardian node for the project, and then within the next few days we'll get that rolling. You can get yours set up. I'm going to get mine set up on Node Orbit. I can't wait just to get that up and running, and then you guys have a Apex stress test coming out here in the near future that will stress those nodes, which I think is great. Any last things, Marcin, you think that we forgot to talk about today?
No, I mean, thank you for all these questions. I think, these were right on point. And, I think you addressed all the important topics. So, thank you again for having us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, we're going to wrap things up there for today. Thank you guys for joining myself and Marcin to talk about their exciting node launch pre-sale going on right now. Links in the chat, links directly down below. From the two of us, thank you guys very much for joining us today. We will see you guys next time. Take care.
Yeah.